You are Locked On Ole Miss, your daily podcast on the Ole Miss Rebels. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
With about a week and a half away from the debut of Austin Simmons, the time has come to ponder exactly what that is going to look like for Ole Miss. We've heard all the stories, all the hype. I personally believe Austin Simmons is one of the most talented quarterbacks, if not the most talented quarterback to ever put on the red and blue. But he still has to do it. And there's two quarterback cases over the last 25 or so years that are interesting to think about, because Lane Kiffin at this point, how is he going to maximize Austin Simmons against Georgia State? And the benefit of this is the best way to do it is by Austin Simmons not trying to be Jaxson Dart, not trying to be Matt Corral, just trying to be Austin Simmons and performing at a high level. If he does that, he is going to be absolutely fine. In 2001 was probably the most anticipated debut of a quarterback at Ole Miss ever. It was Eli Manning. It was his redshirt sophomore year. There's a lot of parallels between Eli and Austin Simmons. Eli Manning had a fantastic game. I'm not going to give the stats, but Eli Manning ended up with a big win over Murray State and looked increasingly good doing it, all with Archie Manning and Eli Manning and Peyton Manning and all the Mannings in attendance. This was a big moment for the Manning family. Manning set records that lasted until last year, essentially, when Jaxson Dart broke nearly every single one of them. Romaro Miller was a great quarterback for Ole Miss, a big-time player. Ole Miss likely doesn't turn around without the work that Romaro Miller did. Romaro Miller going to Eli Manning is really similar to Jaxson Dart going to Austin Simmons. The football program's in a completely different place, and right now Ole Miss has won 10 games, 3 out of the last 4 years. But Austin Simmons has done everything that has been asked of him. Everything. Listen, this is the schedule. This is how it sets up for Austin Simmons. This is why the Georgia State game is so important. If he can have that big moment, if Lane Kiffin can ease him into it to where he gets into a rhythm and starts performing and building the confidence, Georgia State could be a big game for Austin Simmons, statistically, win-wise, and confidence starting-wise. Because the next week you go to Kentucky, and Jaxson Dart threw for about a combined 250 yards against the Kentucky Wildcats over 2 appearances. Both games involved Hemingway Stadium. Austin Simmons, the way he does it, I think that might be a little bit of kryptonite against the Kentucky Wildcats. They're big on not giving up the big passes. Austin Simmons taking what's available, taking the access throws. There's a chance that he is going to look pretty good. Last season, Austin Simmons had a really good year. Better numbers than Eli Manning. Better numbers than Matt Corral. 19-32, 282 yards, and 2 touchdowns for the backup quarterback out of Pahokee High School in Florida. Austin Simmons graduated high school 2 years early. He graduated college 2 years early. And now his moment is right there to happen. Listen, I'm expecting Austin to really show out, but Lane Kiffin, and it will be up to him to put Austin in the best possible situation. I get that Austin Simmons and the Ole Miss Rebels went for it against the Georgia Bulldogs in 2024 when Austin was on the field. Ole Miss picked up a first down pretty famously, if we're going to be honest about it. But Austin Simmons needs to get in the rhythm. It's about confidence building, because the flip side of this, as far as quarterback hype goes, everybody remembers how hyped Michael Spurlock was as a quarterback. Strong arm, super speed, a true dual threat quarterback, somebody that can do absolutely everything. He came out against the Memphis Tigers as the kickoff of the 2024 or the 2004 season and just did not look good. There is a pass he threw in the back of the end zone that hit the wall that I can still hear how loud it was. that season at that point, in that moment, got derailed. And Michael Spurlock was never the quarterback that we thought he was going to be, and he had the talent to be. Now, that was before spread offenses. That was before a lot of stuff. Michael Spurlock in modern football would be very good. But in that system, it ended up not just being a fit. And when you look at the difference of the Eli Manning to the person that succeeded Eli Manning, you have Michael Spurlock. And against the Memphis Tigers, that was a little bit of a bad day. I remember that. That was my first Ole Miss game that I went to after I got out of the Navy. I got out of the Navy that summer and got back, got season tickets. We are so excited. Michael Spurlock is going to be the best. And that game happened. So Lane Kiffin has to avoid that 2024 Memphis game, or the 2004 Memphis game, and he needs to try and build the 2001 Murray State game. If you can do that, that's a tale of two season openers, but it's going to be important for Lane Kiffin to try and manufacture the ladder there. The 2001 Murray State game will be absolutely huge for Austin Simmons as a benchmark to look at. Likely Austin's going to end up somewhere in the middle, but you should try for perfection, essentially. And that game was nearly perfection for Eli Manning. So that was really interesting and something that I'm kind of looking forward to as well. You know, in our final segment, we're going to dive into the Insider's Mailbag, answering the biggest questions about this Ole Miss football team that absolutely have to be addressed. That and Ole Miss trivia next. You know, most people can't name their financial accounts, and they can't even say what they're worth, whether it's 401ks, properties, or investments. And when you don't have the full picture, you end up leaving money on the table. That is why there's Monarch Money. It's an all-in-one finance tool that brings your entire financial life together in one clean, easy-to-use interface on your laptop or on your phone. Monarch does all the heavy lifting for you. You can link all of your accounts in minutes, see clear data visuals, get smart categorization of your spending, and finally feel in control of your money without ever touching a spreadsheet. I linked all of my accounts on Monarch and immediately spotted a few subscriptions that I wasn't even using. Canceling those alone saved me money. Don't let this financial opportunity slip through the cracks. Use the code LOCKEDONCollege, all one word, at Monarch Money in your browser for half off your first year. That's 50% off your first year at monarchmoney.com with the code LOCKEDONCollege. You know, if you're running a business, every missed call is money left on the table. Think about the last time you needed a service. And if the first person didn't answer, did you wait? Probably not. You moved on. That is why you need Open Phone, so you never miss an opportunity to connect with your customers. Open Phone is the #1 business phone system developed and designed to streamline and scale your customer communications. Do you juggle two phones just to keep business and personal calls separate? Open Phone solves that problem instantly. Your whole team can share one number and respond to customers like a shared inbox. No more who's handling this. And the AI agent handles after hours calls, answers common questions, and captures leads, so you never miss a customer again. See why over 60,000 businesses trust Open Phone. They're offering Locked On listeners 20% off your first 6 months at openphone.com/lockedoncollege. That is OPENPHONE.com/lockedoncollege. They'll even port over your existing numbers for free. Open Phone, no missed calls, no missed customers. In Ole Miss trivia today, we are talking about Eli Manning's debut as the Ole Miss quarterback. Ole Miss opened up the 2001 season with Murray State, which would be the starting debut for Eli Manning. It was the most anticipated start until Austin Simmons takes the field against the Georgia State Panthers. How many consecutive completions did Eli Manning have? And bonus, how many touchdown passes did he have on that night? So put your answer in the comments down below. We will put out the answer on social media later today. Thank you for making Locked On Ole Miss your go-to source for Ole Miss sports. We pride ourselves on offering the most comprehensive perspectives, which is why we are the front door of Ole Miss. Don't forget to subscribe, like, comment. It helps the show, and it is completely free. Your support means the world to us. For your second listen, check out the Portal Show. Brian Smith has the latest rumors, portal entries, and signings. Be the most informed fan on the rapid changes around college football's landscape. Find the Portal on YouTube or wherever you listen to podcasts. Hotty toddy, everybody. And remember, analytics is just the old English word that means bad football. We'll see you tomorrow.